All right, let's talk about a decade that can seriously make or break your entire financial future. Yeah, I'm talking about your 20s. It's a time for huge growth, big decisions, but man, it is also loaded with some really common pitfalls. So let's just dive right in. So let me ask you straight up, are you really ready to start building your financial future? Because honestly, the choices you're making right now, they're going to have this massive, outsized impact on the rest of your life. No pressure, right?
Look, your 20s are awesome. They're just packed with opportunity. But they are also filled with traps. And to show you exactly what I mean, we're going to follow the story, a bit of a cautionary tale, of a character who had to learn all of this the hard way.
Okay, so here's what we've got on deck. We're going to hit the lure of installments, that fear of asking for what you're worth, the classic I'll start later myth, and the big one, the tax blind spot. And then we'll wrap it all up by figuring out how to be a smart crocodile. First up, let's tackle trap number one, the lure of installments. You know the ones I'm talking about. We're going to break down why those easy payments can suddenly turn into a super heavy burden. And it always starts so innocently, doesn't it? For our buddy Crook, it all kicked off with a sign for this awesome, shiny new boat. And the offer, it was just too good to pass up. Just 5 shells a week. I mean, that sounds so doable, right? So harmless? But that's the thing. That's how fast it can all just snowball. The boat was only the beginning. Pretty soon, Crook threw a new fishing net on credit. Then he got the latest iPhone 16 on an installment plan. And before we even knew what hit him, he was surrounded by all this cool stuff, but he was totally broke and owed shells to pretty much everyone. And that's the lesson here, right? The real danger isn't that one single payment. Nope, it's how they all add up. Those little payments just stack and stack and stack until suddenly you're looking at this massive, crushing debt. Okay, let's switch gears from spending to earning. This brings us to trap number two, the fear of asking. And this one's huge, guys. It's all about how not negotiating your salary is, quite literally, leaving free money on the table. And this just shows the difference so perfectly. On one hand, you've got Crook. He gets a job offer, but he's way too shy to ask for more. He feels like it would be rude. But then you have the other crocodiles. They confidently ask for what they're worth, and guess what? They get it. We're talking same job, same skills, but a totally different paycheck at the end of the day. And this all boils down to a fundamental truth, not just for your career, but for life. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's that simple. You have to be your own biggest cheerleader, your own biggest advocate. Because trust me, no one else is going to do it for you.
All right, let's move on to trap number three. And this one is a big one. It's the I'll start later myth. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is probably one of the most common and definitely one of the most expensive mistakes you could ever make in your 20s. Just look at the two mindsets here. The wrong idea is thinking, oh, I'll start investing later, when I have more shells. But the smart idea? It's understanding that your single most powerful tool isn't the amount of money you have, it's time. Time is what unlocks that beautiful, magical thing called compounding, where your money starts making its own money, and then that money starts making even more money. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. And that, my friends, is how you really build wealth. So what's the big takeaway? Starting with just 5 shells a week? Think about that. The same small amount that got Crook into all that debt is a million times better than never starting at all. You know that old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, the second best time is now? It's exactly like that. Okay, that brings us to our final trap. And this one is maybe the most, let's say, unavoidable. Trap number four, the tax blind spot. This is the one bill, the one payment that you can absolutely 100% never ever ignore. And Crook's story here is just a classic. He thinks he's clever, that he can just outsmart the whole system and the government won't even notice a few missing shells. But here's the thing about tax day. It always comes. And the government, oh, they always find out. And the result for Crook? He gets hit with a penalty and has to pay double. A total disaster that was completely avoidable. So the lesson here is super simple, but it is absolutely non-negotiable. I don't care if you're a freelancer, if you have a side hustle, or you're a full-time employee, you have got to set aside money for taxes. Just treat it like any other bill, a core expense, right from day one. Okay, so we've walked through the 4 biggest money traps of your 20s. Now for the good part. Let's flip this whole thing around and turn these lessons into positive action.
It's time to talk about how to be a smart crocodile.
Think of this as your new playbook, your rules for the road. A smart crocodile? Well, they're super wary of that easy installment debt. They live within their means. They do their homework, figure out what they're worth, and they are not afraid to negotiate with confidence. They start investing early, even if it's tiny, to get that compounding magic working for them. They handle their taxes like a pro, setting money aside from every single paycheck. And maybe the most important rule of all, they learn from mistakes, not just their own, but from others too.
And that's pretty much it. If you can follow these rules, you're going to be so far ahead of the game, it's not even funny. But that last point, learning from others, that's really key. Which leads me to my final question for you. What other money traps have you seen or heard about? Seriously, think about it. Because sharing that knowledge, well, it might just save another crocodile out there from making a really costly mistake.